Sometimes capturing the right moment in a photo can make such a photograph go down in history. In today's episode, we'll show you some shocking and extremely old photos that give a lot of room for discussion. I invite you to watch. Hairdryer. The first model of a hairdryer was invented in 1890 by the Frenchman Alexander F. Godfrey, who was inspired by a vacuum cleaner. However, the first dryers were nothing like what we know today. They were difficult to move due to their large size, which limited their use only to hair salons. It wasn't until the 1920s and 1930s that hairdryers underwent an evolution, becoming more handy and accessible appliances for home use. In the 1930s, the helmet-type hairdryer was introduced, characterized by a large dome shape. The helmet, usually made of metal or plastic, was equipped with a heating element and a fan that blew hot air over the wearer's head. The drying process with this device could take up to 2 hours, which made it impractical for everyday use. Still, it was a significant improvement in hair drying technology, and the device was widely used in beauty salons. One of the many advantages of the helmet-type dryer was even drying of the hair, which helped to achieve a layered effect while allowing the user to relax and rest during the drying process itself. It was seen as a luxurious experience. Nevertheless, due to its massiveness and storage difficulties, the helmet-type hairdryer did not catch on as an everyday household tool and evolved into what we know today. Firefighter outfit. In the early 20th century, firefighting helmets often featured sprinkler systems as a safety measure to protect the firefighter from heat and flames. These sprinklers activated automatically when exposed to high temperatures, which helped prevent the firefighter's helmet and head from catching fire. The history of modern firefighting gear dates back to the late 19th century, when firefighters wore wool or canvas jackets, trousers, and hats to protect themselves from the heat and flames. These garments were often soaked in water before being put on because wet fabrics are less likely to ignite than dry fabrics. At the beginning of the 20th century, rubber coats and boots were introduced, which provided better protection against heat and flames. Additional sprinklers on the firefighter's helmet further increased safety and significantly contributed to the development of firefighting equipment. Over the years, the firefighting suit has constantly evolved and improved with the introduction of new materials and technologies that have made it even more effective in protecting firefighters from the hazards of their job. Selfie with aliens. In this mysterious photo of unknown origin, we see something that is difficult to explain. It shows men standing in the harsh desert, taking a picture with aliens as if nothing had happened. Is there a chance something like this really happened? The aliens, with their distinctive greenish skin, large oval eyes with black irises, and thin bodies, also seem delightfully content with the whole situation. Their smiles reveal small white teeth, adding even more charm to them. Despite their alien nature, they seem completely harmless and friendly towards the inhabitants of the local community. Did such a meeting really take place? If so, where exactly, and what were the circumstances of this event? Did the inhabitants of this place just come across aliens who were walking around our planet? Were they able to establish closer contact? Do the aliens know they're taking a picture with someone, and that's why they look so happy. Be sure to write in the comments what you think about this mysterious photo. A tragedy at sea. This photo was taken on April 2nd, 1954, by Los Angeles Times photographer John Gaunt. It captured the tragic moments of a young couple who had just learned the terrible truth. Mr. and Mrs. McDonald just found out that their 19-month-old son, Michael, was swept away by the waves on the beach at Hermosa Beach. The photo, Tragedy at Sea, shows a couple who are just coming to terms with what happened. There is deep pain on their faces. This photo is a touching reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating impact of the tragedy that took place at the time. The couple's body language says a lot about their deep suffering and utter helplessness against the brutal and unpredictable power of the sea. Despite the fact that it depicted a human tragedy, this photo won a Pulitzer Prize in 1955. The committee described them as touching and deeply moving. The photo was difficult for the photographer, who was only 31 years old at the time and was the father of a 3-year-old daughter. Drama in Armero. A picture of this little girl, Omaira Sanchez, was taken just before her death. It is a moving picture that brutally reminds us of the devastating effects of natural disasters. The volcanic eruption in 1985 was a disaster that claimed the lives of over 23,000 people, and the girl's story is one of the most tragic. Armero was 13 when she lost her father and aunt when a mudslide destroyed their home. Miraculously, she managed to survive it, but unfortunately she was trapped under the rubble. Her legs were covered with a concrete roof. Despite such terrible circumstances, the girl was still alive and hoped to get out of the trap. She was positive throughout the rescue, even singing to one of the volunteers to keep everyone's spirits up. She asked for sweets and drinks and even agreed to an interview. However, over time, her condition began to deteriorate. She began to suffer from exposure to cold and prolonged presence in water. She also started having hallucinations and delusions. For almost 3 days, she remained trapped in the rubble, enduring approximately 60 hours of unimaginable suffering. Rescuers did everything they could to free her, but it soon became apparent that they would not be able to free her legs without amputation. Without the necessary surgical equipment that was needed to save her life, the doctors decided to let her die. The photo of the girl was published 6 months after her death and won the title of Best Press Photo in 1985. Xray Image. A photograph of the process of taking a chest X-ray at the Coquin Hospital in Paris around 1914 gives us a glimpse into the origins of medical imaging. Dr. Menard was one of the pioneers of X-ray technology, which allowed doctors to see inside the body without having to surgically open the patient. However, using this new technology carried some risks. Dr. Menard did not fully understand the dangers of radiation exposure. As a result, he often exposed himself to it while operating the machine. This exposure eventually led to the development of cancer, necessitating the amputation of one of his fingers. The photo captures the moment of taking the X-ray. It serves as a reminder of the early days of medical imaging, when X-ray was still a new and exciting technology that held great promise for the future of medicine. Years later, we know that this discovery changed the face of medical diagnostics forever. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notifications about the latest episodes. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye!